Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, hope you all are doing good. Barakallahu feekum. I hope that you had a good Eid holidays and most of you did well in your CCA test. Barakallahu feekum. And in our last class in chapter 22, we stopped till balanced diet. Okay. From this class, we will start continuing this chapter 22 from digestion. I hope you have your notebook with you so that you can take notes and your book in front of you. Please listen carefully. This is a big lesson, so I'm going to take only one section in one class. Okay, please listen carefully. And digestion, what is digestion? We eat food, right? After we eat the food, it has to be digested, that is, it has to be converted into energy for our use. Nutrition have to be taken from the food. So the conversion of complex food material, the food we take, whether it's rice, meat, vegetables, anything, it has to be converted into smaller substances so that it can be absorbed by the cells. Okay, cells work for our body, so then it is absorbed by the cells. This process is called as digestion. So taking in food is termed as ingestion. When we take food through our mouth, then that process is called as ingestion. Okay. The digestive system. Digestive system is, it starts from mouth and its end till here, small intestine. So alimentary canal is there in our body. It is a tube, consists of mouth. It starts from here, then it goes to pharynx, then this tube is called as esophagus, then you have stomach, small intestine, then large intestine, and finally the rectum, where excretion happens. So this whole canal is called as alimentary canal. Okay, and the alimentary canal has glandular organs. Glandular organs are nothing but the organs which secrete some enzymes. So those are called as glands. So the place where some enzymes are secreted, they are called as glands. So those organs are called as glandular organs. Then you have salivary glands, which is found in our mouth. We have saliva, right? And you have liver, that is here, and you have pancreas here. These all form the digestive system here. Okay, so enzymes. What is enzymes? In our body, during digestion, our food materials that we eat have to be converted into simpler substances, from complex substances to simpler ones. For that process, we need some chemicals in our body. They speed up the chemical reaction that takes place in our cells. So those chemicals are called as enzymes. Okay. So in our in our stomach, we will have digestive juices, those chemicals which help in digestion. So enzymes, they help in speeding up the chemical reaction. So this is the technical definition. Enzymes are chemicals which speed up chemical reactions taking place in cells. Okay. And what enzymes are made up of? Enzymes are made up of complex proteins. Since they are complex proteins, they remain unchanged during the chemical reaction. So, for example, in digestion we need some enzyme, okay, and since enzyme is made up of complex proteins, so they remain unchanged. Uh, they don't change during the chemical reaction, so they can be used repeatedly. So this point you have to remember. And the next, the processes involved in nutrition. So there are 5 processes involved in nutrition. So the first one is ingestion, the second one is digestion, third one absorption, fourth one assimilation, fifth one ingestion. So what is ingestion? So when we take the food, we eat it through our mouth, right? We ingest it kind of. We eat it. We take with our hand and we eat it. So that process is the first step. That is called as ingestion. So the digestion of the food starts from the mouth and it ends in the small intestine. So you have to remember the digestion of food, it starts from the mouth because we have saliva in our mouth. It starts from there, digestion, and it ends in small intestine. So the first part that is used in ingestion and digestion. Ingestion is taking the food, digestion is breaking down that complex particles into simpler ones, that is called as digestion. So after ingestion, during ingestion, the first part is mouth. The first organ is mouth. So in the mouth, what happens? Initially, carbohydrates such as starch, okay, they are broken down or digested to form sugar. Okay, so broken down or digested to form sugar. Sugar is a molecule that our body utilizes. Okay, then in our mouth we have saliva and it contains an enzyme. We talked about enzyme, right? So it contains an enzyme which is a salivary amylase. Okay, that you have to remember. So what is the function of this salivary amylase? It breaks down starch into sugar. So starch is there in our food, so it is break down into sugar. That is the function of salivary amylase enzyme from our saliva, which is found in the mouth. And what is the other function? It also helps in lubricating the food and making it easier for swallowing. We have a saliva in our mouth. Lubricating is basically uh, to make the process of swallowing easy, okay, smooth. That's what is called as lubricating. Then you have esophagus. Esophagus is here. Here, the pipe-like structure here. Okay, the food pipe. So there is no digestion in this part. There is no chemical reaction for digestion in this part. This is called as gullet. Okay. So the esophagus or the food pipe, as I told, the contraction of the muscles in its wall. So this is the muscles that's found in the wall of the food pipe. They contract. They contract means they become small, so that the food in it is pushed into the stomach. Imagine, I will tell you. I'll draw here. So you have a pipe here. Okay, this is a food pipe, and you have food here. Okay, small food particles inside, which you eat through your mouth. Okay, when it's contracted, contract means becoming small, thin, like this. Okay, it's contracted. What will happen? The food particles, because of contraction, it will move down, right? That's how the food particle is pushed to the stomach, which is found here. Okay, that is the process of esophagus. So that muscle movement that happens in the food pipe is called as peristalsis. This is the process called as peristalsis. The muscle movement is called as peristalsis. Then the stomach. Stomach is a highly muscular organ. There are high amount of muscles there in the stomach, and the gastric glands, as I told, glands are those organs. They secrete some enzymes or chemical substances. So the gastric glands are present in the walls of the stomach. They secrete gastric juice containing HCl, hydrochloric acid. Okay. So and enzymes like pepsinogen. So they secrete gastric juice containing hydrochloric acid, and also they secrete enzymes like pepsinogen. So what is the purpose of HCl, this hydrochloric acid? It activates the pepsinogen. Okay, pepsinogen is an enzyme, so it has to be activated. What is meant by activating? So to function properly, it has to be activated by the hydrochloric acid, so that this pepsinogen is converted into pepsin, which kills bacteria in our food. Then the proteins are broken into smaller fragments called as peptones by enzyme pepsin. Okay, the enzyme, we have pepsin here. After it's converted from pepsinogen to pepsin by HCl, then the pepsin also is used in converting the protein into smaller fragments called as peptones. What is peptones? It's a smaller fragment of protein. You just have to remember that. And next, small intestine. In this organ, the food moves from stomach to duodenum. I will show you duodenum here. So this is where duodenum is. Here you can see. Can you see here? This duodenum. A food is moved from stomach to duodenum, which is the upper part of the small intestine. So duodenum is the upper part of the small intestine, where emulsification of fat happens. Emulsification of fat. You have fat in a food, so they are emulsified. That is, they are broken into fat droplets, small fat droplets. It takes place with the help of bile juice, which is secreted by the liver and is stored in gallbladder. So you have liver in your body. Okay, sorry for the shape. You can see here how the liver looks here. Okay, this is the liver. Okay, so the liver is there. In the liver, there is a bile juice is secreted. Okay, bile juice is secreted by the liver, and this is stored in gallbladder. Okay, this is the gallbladder here. So the liver secretes bile juice, which is then stored in gallbladder. So that bile juice, it helps in emulsification of fat. So that's the process. And bile juice does not have any digestive enzymes, that you have to remember. But the only function of the bile juice is to create alkaline medium. Okay, you know acidic and alkaline, right? You know acidic and alkaline. So it creates the alkaline medium, which is essential for the action of pancreatic enzymes. So pancreas secretes enzymes. So for the enzymes to work properly, it has to be alkaline medium, not acidic medium. So this bile juice, they make the environment in that place organ alkaline medium instead of acidic medium. And the pancreatic juice contains three enzymes: trypsin, amylase, lipase. So trypsin, the function is to convert peptones and proteoses from the food into smaller peptides, so smaller protein particles. Then amylase, the function of the amylase is to convert starch into maltose. And function of lipase, it's an enzyme which is found in pancreatic juice. It converts fats into fatty acids and glycerol. The proteins, when they are digested, the end product is called as amino acids. Just have to remember that amino acid is a chemical. And carbohydrates, finally it's broken down or converted into glucose, and fats are finally converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, and it's completed in the small intestine. And the small intestine inner surface contains thin finger-like projection, like a villi, okay, like a small hair-like structures on the wall of the small intestine. They are called as villi. They increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food into the blood capillaries lining the villi. So we have the food, digested food, it has to be absorbed into the blood. So the small intestine has inside small like hair like villi. So they are absorbed through that. So it increases the space for the absorption of the digested food. Okay. Then the blood, it carries the absorbed food into the different parts of the body, and undigested food we have after some digestion there might be some undigested food which is pushed into the large intestine. Okay, so jaundice is caused by liver infection. This is an additional information they have given here, the fact. So when a person suffers from jaundice, you might have heard of jaundice, right? The skin looks pale with yellowish tint. Even the eyes, they look yellow in color. This is because of the large amounts of bilirubin, a bile pigment in the blood. Okay, bilirubin is a bile pigment. We talked about bile juice, right? So the bilirubin, if it's largely present in blood, uh, then the urine becomes deep yellow in color, and this is because of a virus called as hepatitis virus, and there are many different types of this virus. There is now an injection that provides immunity from this virus. Okay, so this is they have given a fact about the jaundice disease. Now we will see about large intestine. This part of the body absorbs water from the undigested food. Okay, we have after digestion we have undigested food, and in that if there any water that is absorbed by the large intestine, and the solid waste is lubricated to form feces. Feces is the waste material we excrete from our body. Okay, then the feces they pass on to the lower part of the large intestine called the rectum. I showed in the diagram. um, and they are thrown out of the body through anus. Okay, so here I'll show you from the large intestine. You have rectum here. It comes to rectum after absorbing the water from the undigested food, then finally excreted. The feces are excreted through the anus in our body. Okay, this is the process. uh, in this next we saw about ingestion and uh, digestion. Now absorption. After digestion, see we have food we take through our mouth, then the food is further broken down into smaller particles, then the smaller particles are they have to be absorbed, right? That is the next step. So the blood capillaries in the villi, okay, I told villi are the hair-like structure. They will have blood capillaries, blood small tubes. They take up the digested food and take it to all cells. So that is the process called as absorption. Then the next process called as assimilation. See, the digested food they are taken into different cells. Now what? Now they have to be supplied to the cells to release energy and build up the cell components. So that's the next topic, next process. Okay, we have the absorbed food. They are taken into different cells. In the cells, they are processed. Okay, the absorbed food are the nutrients are processed for to release energy and for other functions of the cell. This process is called as assimilation. The next is digestion. This is, as I told, it's undigested food material or waste is released from our body. This is the final process which is called as digestion. Okay, this is the whole process of digestion. The process happen in the digestive system. Inshallah, the next class we will see about the some diseases that are because of the some deficiency. What will happen if there is a deficiency in protein in our body? Some diseases will come. Okay, we will see in the next class. I will stop here, inshallah. If you have any doubts, you can message me anytime. Okay, I will respond and clarify your doubt. And if you don't understand anything, watch that segment multiple times so that you understand well. Okay, we'll see in the next class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.